a motion to adopt the supervisor salary ordinance.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it. All in favor? Aye.
The next two items, it's my understanding, we're going to table those for now. We're going to, since it isn't another ordinance, we did advertise for it, so we will announce on the record this evening that that will be moved to the April 8th meeting at 6 o'clock in this room. That way we don't have to re-advertise it. However, if we don't take action on it in April, it's the window of a 60-day window to adopt it from the advertisements. And we did check today that the April meeting is within that 60 days. If we postpone it beyond that meeting, we have to start over session. But it's not a big deal, it's just a re-advertisement.
April 8th, 9th.
Actually, look, there's one thing I looked at my phone.
I think she writes in Green, which is the 7th, that's a Monday. I think it's the 10th.
It is 10th. April 10th, wherever down.
Wait, that's the Thursday.
Thursday, yes.
Yeah.
Thursday.
It doesn't 8th didn't sound.
I know, I appreciate how glad you said
Sorry
that.
to
So.
interrupt, but
No,
I was
no,
like,
absolutely.
no, 8th.
April 10th at 6 o'clock in this room. And then the only other thing, I just want to give an update on 320 Main Street. If people drive by it, you see that it has been cleaned up. The township put a fence around their property to protect it at this point now, but really at this point, the property's clean like we've been pushing for since before I've been here. So and that's it.
Okay. All right, we'll move into public works. Keith.
I don't have anything.
Well, I'll put something under his report. We have Cornerstone Culvert DEP approval.
Whoa.
Yeah, now we just need the grant money.
I know.
No, that was part, so
So kudos to our
Yeah.
grant.
great job.
No comments except signed and sealed plans, 1 month review. We have our 2 permits, the GP3 and GP11. So congratulations, Keith.
Oh, thank you.
Perfect. So that was figured in with the bond money. So that we are hopeful that the grant money does come through, because then that frees up other monies out of the grant.
That's an LSA grant.
Correct.
Local
Yeah.
share account.
So fingers crossed.
We can't start the project until the grant awards are announced, I mean, whether we get it or not, so I
Right.
don't wanna risk not getting the money. But you could prepare the bid documents
We
and
could get started.
get started on that.
Again, kudos to Grant. That's very exciting.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And we get started on the bid package and might as well, so that if the grant's awarded, it's shovel ready.
And if we find out we don't get them, then we can just bid it anyway and we'll pay with the bond.
Correct. So everybody out here, hope and pray we get the grant money. All right. Trying to think, so just, we can go over a little bit of summary. We're actually, the parks, you do have stuff on your plate. So the parks is, part of the park, the main park, Main Creek Park, the walking trail got washed away during the July 9th storm. And I will say I stopped in. I do have pictures on my phone. I didn't get them uploaded today, I forgot. But the road crew did, I think, a really good job on this bridge that they put in finally. I tasked them with, we had stuff laying around. Why waste it? Come up with it. And they took I-beams and made a bridge. We have a deck on it now. We're waiting on handrails. Are those on handrails?
We should be finished up the handrails tomorrow, so Monday they'll be installed, and then it's just McAdams trails when they're ready, and back, ready to go.
I was gonna nag you about that too.
It looks really good. So kudos to the crew. I already talked to them today. I stopped in at lunch and said it looked really good. So yep, between that and like the road crew did do the fence at 320 Main. So we're planning on, once it warms up a little bit, obviously it's not done. We got to grass seed it, and I want to put some shrubbery along there to kind of make it look at least decent for us, for the township lot.
And was the new skid loader used
Oh yeah.
for driving?
Oh, yeah.
So another attachment to this little
Yeah.
handy dandy skid loader tool, and
I was joking and told them so we put, so this is a little bit over the top, but we did 6-inch diameter posts, 10 foot long, and I jokingly said that they had a bash on the ground sledgehammer, but we rented a post hole driver and they had the post in half a day, and then we got rained out, and another day later the fence was up, and basically within 3 days, I mean, you guys are pretty much done. So we have a crew of Fence and Schmitz now, so.
And we will be staining the fence and
Yes.
then putting in shrubbery, not the other way around.
So are there still remaining issues with Schumann on his property?
Not related to the property.
Right.
It's the property's cleaned up.
Okay.
Yep.
But does he still have property maintenance issues on his property?
No,
No.
there's open fines and penalties, so, but no property issues.
Street sweeping,
Yeah, one of
April 7th,
street sweeping, April
7th.
7th to the 18th is what we're looking for that. I did want to also piggyback on the park discussion, and I'm just putting it out here today. It's on live. While I stopped in after work yesterday and walked around with the bridge and stuff, I'm going to say it's a little disheartening. Again, I know you guys do an Earth Day cleanup and stuff like that. You know, and it's not, this doesn't directly affect, it does affect us all, but it's not directed at anybody here. But there's a lot of trash blowing around in that along the creek. And, you know, it's just kind of sad that the community, taxpayers, we did a lot of effort in there to fix the creek issues, to clean that area up. The Parks and Rec does a tremendous job of, you know, staying on top of it and trying to keep things clean. And yeah, I just was surprised. I actually called Keith when I got there because I was like, the place was packed. They were doing soccer practice, the pickleball was going on, there were little kids riding bicycles under the pavilion, basketball, everything was being used. The playground was being used, the baseball, there was a guy and his son on the baseball field. Walking trail was packed. Like, I was impressed, you know, and I think it's something to be proud of that we have a nice facility like that. But then I walk along the creek and there was a, you know, trash bag in the creek, and like, it looked like somebody's trash can entirely blew down the side of along the edge of the property. And it just is, it's kind of sad. Like, you know, we spent a lot of time and effort to clean this up. So that's my PSA to the residents is, you know, I know it might not be yours. I was there, you know, on a motorcycle, and if I had a trash bag, I would have picked it up. But it would have filled probably 2-3 bags. That's how much was there. So
A lot of that happened, just lately with the windstorm.
Right.
People put their recycling
Correct.
out the night before.
yeah, no, I get it. I understand it. But like I said, it's something we all can be proud of, and I think it's, you know, I remember years of when I first became an adult and moved to Maiden Creek from Fleetwood, like, you know, it wasn't used that hard. That park was a walking trail. That was it. Occasionally you'd see people there. Baseball season, you'd see them out there. Soccer maybe, but it wasn't like it's now. I mean, it's packed, and I think it's really cool. We have a facility for people to enjoy like that. But yeah. So anyway,
It wasn't that bad last year. The fire department was the worst part last year.
yeah.
That had the most garbage.
Like I said, I'm just putting it out there, making a statement.
It is sad,
Mhm.
but we'll get it cleaned up.
Keith, when will the bathrooms be open?
They are.
They're open.
Oh, they
We're
are?
on it.
Yep, Tuesday.
Oh, shoot. So if I can't make it to the office, I gotta stop. Believe me, I know where all the dive companies are.
And that's another, I'll give a plug, I know you guys are on here, but that's another plug for Parks and Rec. So the new thing is too, Fleetwood soccer program is now back, you know, and there's been a few years that wasn't around. And one of the things that is a topic of concern is, you know, we're trying, hopefully the camera system, the presence at the park is a lot more. So the last time they were there, the soccer nets kept getting broken, kids hang on them. You know, the vandalism is just rampant. So that same thing too, you know, if you're a resident out and you see something, say something, you know, or if you don't want to get into it, call the non-emergency number, Northern Berks. But, you know, it's something we should all be proud of. I think it's come a long way, and I appreciate what you guys do for sure. So. All right. I think that's it for Keith.
There's no report.
Yeah.
Should I just make this Josh's report? I'll just-
Yeah. And like I said, so the other thing is the shop, but that's kind of on us. We're moving forward with something there. So here to talk about it. All right, I'll turn it over to Aaron, Parks and Rec. Actually, you want me to talk about that now?
Yeah, go ahead for that one, and I'll take you back later.
Well, after Ashley has a project in the park that's Josh's, that we could bring up next
The berm,
meeting. The
yeah,
berm.
yeah, we'll talk about that. That's another thing. That's kind of been, it's more Keith's project there. That's not really a big deal. But we're looking at, I think I spoke about it already, the walking trail on the other side towards Limestone. We want to redo that berm that's over there. We're just trying to, God forbid there's another storm like we had on July 9th, but we want to try to 100% divert the water away from Limestone Village. So we're looking at getting rid of that home, or the walking trail kind of carves out an area on the berm. We're going to get rid of that so we can completely berm it and direct the flow a different direction. But that's a little bit down the road yet.
Okay.
So.
I look like Niagara Falls.
So the other thing is, part of I believe the last part of pickleball was the fencing portion. And I met out there, was it yesterday or the day before?
What?
When did we go to pickleball?
That was like Monday or Tuesday.
Monday or Tuesday, okay. I don't remember, days run together. So we had gotten quotes to do that area, and it was really, really, really high. So Keith and I went out there and looked at it, and I believe, since they're super good at installing fences now, we can handle it. So I asked him to get a quote, and we actually got a quote with one idea in mind, and we spoke after he got the quote. So I think we're gonna make it a lower fence is what we talked about. So anyhow, the number Keith got for our crew to do it is at $3,500 to do fencing for the pickleball to keep on either side. We have a retaining wall there because we can't really drag it back too far. So to prevent people from falling over the retaining wall and get hurt, we want to put a fence in. However,
that would be on the court itself.
well, no. So,
Nope.
so what I was going to bring up, because you were here and I was told you're going to kind of spearhead it, I guess, is about you guys doing fundraising or something along the lines of that to help offset the cost.
Yeah, we could do something like that, yes, yeah.
Because this is through the Parks and Rec. I'm just kicking it off because I was with them, but this will all be handled through the Parks and Rec.
Mhm.
And your budget.
We had budgeted money for this year, so
What I remember, yeah. So anyhow, I just feel that if we're going to go forward with that, it's going to kind of get tabled for today. That way it gives you guys time to kind of coordinate and do something. So the only reason I'm bringing that up is like Fleetwood Baseball had the scoreboard put up, right? The scoreboard was donated by Walbert's Funeral Home, and then it was installed through Fleetwood Area Baseball. Same thing. What was the other one we said?
Soccer nets.
Soccer nets. Soccer nets were brought in by the Fleetwood soccer program, brought the nets in. I know they had approached, I think, you guys maybe a year or two ago about doing it.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things like, we facilitate the spot for it, but we put the facility in, and then if you want to improve it or whatever, I think it's good to have that community outreach anyway for pickleball. So
Right.
So we're gonna basically table it. I think you do go to the Parks and Rec meeting anyway,
Yeah.
and I'm handing it off to you at this point, right? So I guess we'll go from there, and whatever you guys come up with, obviously it doesn't need to come back to us. I don't really think so.
No, as long as you're okay with us spending $3,500 on a fence, I don't need to necessarily bring something that small back.
Yeah.
It was just more of, it hadn't gone to Parks and Rec, and it had become like kind of an emergency
Yeah,
thing
it was
on
kind of-
Monday.
Now that everybody's out there using it, and I do see it, you run into it, bash your shin into it, get cut up or whatever, or you completely trip and fall. And now we got the soccer 20 feet away, so it kind of will serve dual purpose.
Yeah, if they put the soccer 20 feet away, I think it would be necessary because those soccer balls are gonna interfere with pickleball.
Well, we're only looking at a 4-foot tall fence. But I said 20 foot, I didn't actually measure. I don't know what the distance is, but it's close. It's not like right there, but it's close. So
I'd rather do it sooner, I think, rather than later, but if you want to table it, that's okay with me, and we'll run it through Park and Rec and talk to Mike about how he wants to fundraise.
well, I guess we could install it. They can just do a donation to the Parks and Rec at that point, right?
We could do it that way as well.
I mean, are you guys okay with that?
Yeah.
Because then we can proceed with it, and then whatever, if you guys generate it and whatever, we'll put it towards it. So, okay. I'm okay with turning it over that way, and I guess I would say it's not to exceed 3,500, because I think you got it. The quote was for 4 foot with a 6 foot section, and we're just gonna make it all 4 foot with 2 tall poles. So it'll actually probably be closer to 3,000, I would think. So the original quote we got was over 14 grand, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, so we're saving a lot of money by keeping crew doing it. All right, so do you need a motion for that?
Yeah, I'd like one.
Okay. So I have a motion to approve not to exceed $3,500 for the person fencing to be installed at community park for pickleball.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Diane?
I think Aaron, you want to talk about your events?
Yeah, we have a couple of events I'd like to bring up. First of which will be movie night. Would you like to just explain a little
We
further?
have a movie night, it'll be at the Maiden Creek Church on March 28th at 6 p.m. It's a children's movie,
What are you showing?
I believe we're going to show Mona too.
most likely. Yeah, since it's just coming out now.
Yeah.
So most people haven't seen it. Open to all children, and we'll have some snacks, drinks, snacks. So everybody's invited. Adults too, if you really want to see Mona too. Josh, you can come. Aaron.
Probably past my bedtime.
It probably is, but you should still, you can bring your pillow.
I don't sleep till
You
noon.
can-
Some people.
I do.
I know.
I'm getting up when you're going to bed. Bring your sleeping bag and your pillow and we'll tuck you in.
March 28th.
So we thank Pastor Bruce for allowing us to use his facility.
Next event we have will be the Earth Day cleanup of the parks. I believe that's the 22nd of April. We're gonna do the same thing we did last year, meet here at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and then we'll disperse to the parks. I know Keith will be able to supply some trash bags and some gloves again like last year. I'll bring water, and we'll do another cleanup of the park again. Hopefully it doesn't take us more than 2-3 hours. I think it was about 3 hours last year. So, but that's next. It is posted on the Facebook group, and then I'll send all the flyers to Christine there, and we'll get it up on the website. After that, we are hosting the flea market / craft show, and that will be May 3rd, Saturday. That'll be from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. And right now we're planning on having the flea market in the same area as we did last time, and then the craft show will be under the pavilion. So try to split them up. We did get a little pushback from crafters on the group about having flea marketers go to crafting events. They're worried about being lowballed, but I think if we keep them separate, that might help out. Yeah, so we're giving it a whirl. If
our world.
Yeah, we're gonna run with the double and see how it works out this year, and we're gonna host another one in the fall there in October, and we'll just depending on how well this one goes, we'll decide if we're gonna keep them together or if we may do a split. Obviously we want to try to generate as much revenue as we can for the parks department. So, yep. And then we had an initial date for Adult Field Day in June. However, we're really not getting quite enough response for that, so that may not end up happening. Yeah, this year. So
You do a full blown pickleball tournament WWE style.
yeah, that might generate more feedback. Yeah, but at the moment, we're looking for at least 40 people to be interested in it, and then at least 10 or so volunteers. I don't know, we might have gotten maybe half of that at this point. So I don't want to get into the whole planning phase of that with not many people willing to come out. So instead of spending resources there, we'll be able to look at other things that we want to do this year. So doesn't look like it's going to happen, but at least for now, we have the cleanup and the flea market craft show events and the movie night in the next 3 months.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Again, thanks for not just you, but your whole crew.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, everybody's been highly involved, so I really appreciate everybody, what they're doing and being a part of it and volunteering. That's a big help. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Whole business. we have acceptance of planning commission's annual report. Do I have a motion? To discuss it.
Yeah. It's just a formality required by the planning code.
So I'll make a motion to accept the planning commission annual report.
We'll second that. All in favor? Aye. All right, new business. You still want to go forward with this, right?
So if you want to improve the Wi-Fi in here till, any kind of decision is made, this is the price for it. Aaron's been live streaming, the meetings, we've been doing okay when we have to do an online meeting. We all just gather in one room. So if you don't want to do this now, that's fine with me, but that's the price, to get another wireless hub, and then be some cable that needs to be run.
And all that can get moved anyway, really.
Now, Stratix, we met with Stratix to talk about our IT usage and the plan going forward. And the authority has to look at it because it's their server and it's their plan. But there is a service plan out there that would include them looking at the building and developing the entire IT concept and where everything's gonna go. And the annual cost of the service plan would cover all of that engineering and planning. So I believe they're gonna go in that direction. They're gonna save about $12,000 if they do.
Yeah.
So this one's not a big deal to me unless the wireless is spotty, but
Yeah.
is it $2,000 worth
Well,
of a
that's it,
hardship?
yeah.
Not really to me.
Yeah. If you're okay with it, I'm okay tabling it. I think now that we're not doing it on here, and honestly, I would suggest that computer get replaced. That's a lot cheaper than $2,000 anyway. So I think that's a lot more problem. But yes, for you guys, and Wi-Fi, I'm okay tabling it for now.
Okay.
Alrighty. So this is it'll be a From Electric. We got a quote from Electric to run electric from where it's fed, where the recycle center, where the old house used to be, down to the salt shed, which that was for running electric to have plug-ins for the equipment for the wintertime, for the engine block heaters and stuff like that. So, but we have to run a line from up at the top. That's the closest run from there down. So we have a quote for $3,027.42. I don't know. I have it somewhere. I think you all have it. Yeah.
It's in the packet.
Yeah. It is a long run, so it's was it 4-aught? Pretty good sized cable conductor to run from that length from there down because of voltage drop. Just so you're aware. Yeah, it's 4-aught. It's 3-string, so that's why it's $3,000. Copper's not cheap, and I think this is actually aluminum. I think.
Probably.
Yeah. So anyway, it's that's what that runs for, to feed the salt shed area. So do I have a motion to approve the quote from Electric for $3,027.42 for materials?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Big financial matters, bank account at Fleetwood Bank. That's it. And for the board to sign all required paperwork.
I'll make a motion.
So these bank accounts were open recycling and fire at Truist. And Truist has started to charge us a $4 a month fee, and their interest rate is 0.5%, and Fleetwood can give me a better rate. So,
And no charge.
and no charge.
Right.
That's why we're moving.
It's good to elaborate. It's my bad.
That's okay.
Yeah, I'll make the motion to authorize the opening of a recycling fee bank account at Fleetwood National Bank.
I will second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Do I have a motion to authorize opening fire tax bank account at Fleetwood Bank and board to sign all required paperwork?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Do I have a motion to authorize opening EMS tax bank account at Fleetwood Bank and the board to sign all required paperwork?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Do I have a motion to authorize manager to close the Truist Bank recycling fee, the fire tax bank accounts, and the transfer of money to corresponding accounts at Fleetwood Bank?
I'll make that motion.
I will second it. All in favor?
Aye.
And do I have a motion to approve the bills and accept the treasurer's report as presented?
I'll make that motion.
One second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, public comment, non-agenda items. First row, second row, third, fourth, fifth.
Okay, Joel Boris, 284 West Walton Street Drive. It's probably on the agenda. This system for the Wi-Fi, would that be able to allow you to bring back the accessibility of Zooming these meetings instead of streaming them on a public website?
It's possible. We might have to replace that computer. That is from 2020, but it's possible it could.
Because streaming it from a private website, basically you can ask the attorney about it against the law, because there's a secondary consent law in the state of Pennsylvania and 12 others that by him streaming that, he needs my permission to put it on any website. So you might want to look into that, bring back the Zoom aspect so we don't have any violations.
It goes to YouTube, right?
It goes to YouTube.
It doesn't matter, it's coming from a private website. Look up the laws, that's something I'll give you something else to do today. But anyway, I was just wondering if you could get that feasibility back. Thank you.
We really, Charlie, only had 2 people using Zoom. It really wasn't well used.
Yeah, one was my wife.
One was his wife and the other was his
I'm not
sister.
questioning, I'm questioning the fact that from a public aspect, and the attorney will look at it, you have to be careful from going from private to a public website. Now, the media is different. The media can come in here because they're the media. But when you start taking private entities, you gotta be very careful.
And the other issue too is that, I mean, if somebody can't make the meeting, then they can go to a Zoom recording and see what happened.
They can do that here.
We never posted the Zoom recordings.
Yeah,
And
Zoom
we never kept the Zoom recordings. They are not an official record of the meeting.
We do have a YouTube channel.
No, I know that you do, but the previous manager actually did keep Zoom recordings.
The previous manager isn't here anymore, and this manager does not do that.
I don't know, he actually.
He wasn't, they were on my
Yeah,
YouTube account.
they were
No,
used,
he had some,
they were used
but
for
he had
meetings.
some that were recorded here and they were available through Right to Now.
They were, I don't think so, they were
Yeah,
used for
they
meetings.
Yeah, they
It
were.
was
They
really
were.
never the policy of the township.
I'd recommend destroying them as soon as you
If I can find them, they're gone.
can. Right?
Why would you recommend destroying something that's public?
It's not required. We use it just for doing the minutes. Once the minutes are done, then you destroy those old records.
Under the
That way
secondary municipality law, you don't require to document this meeting?
Minutes.
Through the minutes.
The minutes, yeah, we don't.
Minutes.
Yeah.
But in the issue of transparency,
It
if
was-
the record's available, then it's nice to be able to keep it because you already have it. It's not something being created after the fact, it's something that's available, especially for people who can't make the meeting, because you can see here, there's not a lot of people sitting
No,
here.
but these meetings were pretty much, we streamed during COVID, and is what started this, and that's.
That's all I'm saying. It's not a legal
Correct.
requirement to keep records.
And Charlie, I was always under the impression there's no assumption of privacy in a public meeting.
I
That's not the question. The question is, you're going from a public domain to a private, public area. He can look it up. No.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah,
You can take the link down and
He's all like-
put it up, that's fine.
He's got time, he can bill you guys.
I think it was discussed in a previous
It's under
meeting. This was done
question.
as a courtesy pursuant to a public's request. You
Exactly.
didn't stop doing it.
It doesn't bother me either way.
Just one other thing, the acceptance of planning commission annual report, is that accessible to, do I have to put a request for information in for a copy of that report?
No, I'll get it for you then. That's okay.
Great.
Thank you.
All right, that it? Any comments? All right, so I have a motion for adjournment.
I will make a motion for adjournment.
I will second. All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, you can give Charlie that one that I gave you.